Hey, welcome back to the podcast, Evil Dungeon Masters AD&D Universe Podcast. I am your host, Vince. Hopefully you're doing well out there. It is Friday. It's the day before the weekend. Hopefully you have a game coming out this weekend, or if not, you're planning, because that's still playing, in my opinion, is planning a game. The best part of playing a game is sometimes planning. So hopefully you're doing that, or at least preparing for a game, or getting ready, or whatever you're doing gaming-wise. Reading a book, for all that matters. It's just all gaming. We're talking about AD&D today, and got a little bit of a cold still, so hopefully this doesn't, I'll try to cut out any coughs or any real weird noises, or, stuff like that. So please excuse me on those. But today, ask the DM at theevildm.com is my email address. Theevildm.com is my website. Patreon.com/theevildm is where you can support me. That's out of the way. Johnathan K had written into me asking me about if I could do an episode on possibly an AD&D type or OSR type Christmas holiday adventure, like a one shot. I know I had brought up a Turkey Day adventure that I did for Thanksgiving. It was basically just kind of a one shot little goofy thing that you can do, and you had to save the turkey dinner so it would go off. So the festival and all this other fun jazz. It was a bunch of notes that I had written down on scratch pads, and I just kind of rolled with what ideas I came up with, and it was kind of fun. So I went scouring around, looking around after talking to Johnathan about what I could do for an AD&D adventure. Now I wanted to find something that was kind of published, whether it was free or not. And I did find one from our good friend that writes great things, the Goblin's Henchman. He had written something in 2020 called Grimbo's Grotto, and it is a short, weird Christmas one-shot adventure with psychoactive mushrooms, evil gnomes, and a were-reindeer named Rude Olf. It is quoted as, "It was the night before Christmas snowfall, and nothing was stirring except a drunken, potty-mouthed were-reindeer high on psychedelic mushrooms. The PCs are approached by elves or other persons with wholesome interest to find the whereabouts of Balsam, a missing but cooperative treant. Balsam was last seen heading towards the old abbey nestled up in the nearby mountain valley. It's snowing now, and in a matter of days, there'll be no way in and out of this valley." So that's the summary of it all. I'm not going to read the entire thing because I don't want to spoil it for those out there that want to actually run this module, and I'll include a link for this. But it is a simple 4-page PDF that you can. It's a pay what you want, so you could pay anything from $0 to $100 billion if you want to give Goblin Huntsman that much. I'm sure he'd love that. It's got a plot hook. It's got 9 keyed areas, and it is built in. It has mushrooms in it, so there's a safety net. So there's not going to be any TPKs in this. XP is going to be plentiful, pretty much. Things that really stood out in this adventure for me was the chimney entrance room where the red and white shrooms that change perception about how you would go to the chimney, and the way the mushrooms are laid out is that it's not active in the light. So these mushrooms have psychedelic effects to them. So when the players go near them, they could possibly start hallucinating and weird things like that. But the mushrooms that are out around the chimney entrance are just deactivated because of the light. But the ones near the base that are kind of covered in shade are the ones they have to worry about. Now they're going to have to climb through or get to this chimney. So it's possible they're going to get infected by these mushrooms to start seeing warped and crazy little things floating through the air or weird creatures. Something fun like that. Another little tidbit about here that I'm just going to go over like the things that really stood out was candy cane golems working sugar vats. So, I mean, you treat them like small clay golems, but it was just a weirdly interesting, again, I guess kind of cute little visual of seeing these little sugarcane golems working the sugar vats. So let's see what else here. Giant putrid gravy spewing undead turkey wishbone. Limited wish on a turn result. Big laughs, and it could possibly be a real threat. Balsam the bound treant with a mimic presence. And then presence is spelled like presence, as in gift presence. And killer sweaters. Rescue set piece, yada yada. Go forth. Rude Olf boss fight. Were-reindeer with a naughty list and a sack of constructs. Very memorable. I think it'll definitely, your players will not forget what this is about. It's shaping up to be an interesting little adventure. So what I really like is that it's only a couple pages. It's clearly laid out for you. It's got a page count of 4, so you can read it and take care of it in one night. Even if your party, kind of screws around and jokes and stuff like that, I mean, you could probably get this done in under maybe 3 hours. And every room seems to be, every entrance of his quote unquote dungeon, how it's written, it works. It just works with the Christmas holiday theme. It's not bloated with Christmas, but it has the Christmas theme into it. There are clear reskins in this of goblins, clay golems, whites or gas, and even a roper for all that matters. Let's see. This adventure lets you, kind of screw around and have fun with the players while maintaining that whole AD&D vibe or whatever old school vibe, while killing things and still having that wonderful Christmas feelings. Things that you might have to watch out for is the mushroom hallucinations can confuse newer players. State up front that like light cancels the spores, or maybe there's a player in the group that has a background. If you use backgrounds in AD&D, which I mean, you probably should. I like to use backgrounds because it gives you those extra quote unquote abilities or skills. So maybe one of the characters will be like, I don't know, a forest person or a forager or something or whatever. And you could be like, yeah, he identifies the mushrooms as poison, and that the mushroom spores only work in the light. So be careful not to go near the ones in the darkness or something like that. I don't know. You will have to do a little bit of prep when it comes to this because the stat blocks for the creatures are not really in here. It's kind of telling you treat as. So you'll have to, before the adventure runs, just make sure to write down your monsters, their hit points and everything quickly on another sheet of paper so you can reference that back and forth. That's really the only downfall. But I get it. He didn't want to put stuff in here so that he would possibly get dinged for anything. And if you keep it generic like this, you could use any of the OSR games and it's not treated as, oh, well, this one's just for BX, or, oh, this one's just for, I don't know, AD&D. This one's just for, he has this, so he's just treated as goblins. So if you're playing basic fantasy, treat them that way, this way, that way, So that's really the only thing that I would really say is to watch out for. You could prep this whole thing in probably about 10, 15 minutes. Prep time, just sit down, build up your monster sheet, and maybe print the map out that he has listed here just for reference in a different sheet of paper or something so you could follow it. I don't know. Make sure that you write down the shroom effects that the parties might suffer, maybe 1 to 2 ways to counter them with light. Decide your limited wish boundaries before playing so you can keep it in the bounds of not going off the rails with the limited wish. A limited wish does have its I don't know if I went over limited wish. I've gone over wish, but limited wish does have its limits. That's why it's called limited wish. So just make sure to reread that spell and get it right so you don't mess up the adventure. You could probably start this adventure, and that's how I'm thinking about this, how I'd run this adventure. Your group is in the middle of a snowy area, and they're looking for maybe some refuge or something, and then these small, little, tiny, and I want to say quote unquote Christmas elves come up to them and ask them for help, and they promise them, this or that. Maybe they'll give them some food and some, warm food and a place to sleep. But first, they have to help them out and to get into this place. And that's how you started out. And kind of press upon once they get to these two chimneys that, the only way in is down. So, and the good thing about this module that I'm thinking about here, if it does happen to drop into a TPK or people die somehow, you can make it so that it's a Christmas adventure type thing, and you snap your fingers. I don't know if you heard that with the microphone, but you snap your fingers and everybody wakes up and restarts the day all over again, kind of like, I don't know, Groundhog Day or Scrooged or something like that. So I don't know. This is a really good, interesting single holiday night adventure that's really easy to prep, easy to convert. It's going to have a lot of really good, interesting, like giggles and laughs. It does have a little bit of danger, a clean exit. Keep the tone weird, but don't make it too weird. And let the moments kind of flow, because there's a lot of little jokey things in here. And I'm not going to describe those things because I really don't want to, because I want you to read it yourself and maybe run it for your group. So let those moments land. Let's see what happens with the group. If your group has a good sense of humor, like most groups do, and my groups usually have a sense of humor, so they would probably enjoy this. But this Grimbo's Christmas Grotto, I'm going to call it, because that sounds interesting. The Grimbo Grotto, the Christmas adventure, is actually kind of perfect, and it can be run for any edition of Dungeons and Dragons, to be honest. The way he wrote it, it could be run for mainstream 5e or all the way back to, basic D&D. So I'm going to put a link in the comments for this adventure for the podcast. I should say the description, I'll put it in, and then I'll try to link it in the comments as well, just in case people don't read the description. And then you guys can decide on your own and download this. And I mean, it's 4 pages. If it's going to bring your group a night of entertainment, throw Goblin's Henchman $1 or $2 or whatever you want, $1 million. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to head out. Hopefully you have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Keep it original, keep it old school. Good night, and God bless everyone.